faces very well. It's like I forget what they look like until I see them again. It's really strange, so that I struggle putting a face to the name, do you know what I mean? But anyway, so this was a custom booking on my website. If you'd like to go ahead and book your own, thank you to everyone who's been booking lately. I do appreciate it. I'll do shout outs again very soon, but they requested a whisper ASMR with low lighting, so I decided to whip a candle out and dim my ring light all the way to the lowest setting possible. I closed the curtain so it's as low as possible, while still illuminating my face a bit so you can still see me, of course, otherwise this room would be completely dark. But today's video is going to be an in-depth topic. I'm going to read their message that they sent to me in the message form, because when you book a service on my website, link below, you can type a message, and you can type as long as you want. Trust me, don't feel sorry for yourself if you type like a 5-page essay. It's okay. People have typed to me longer. Like, it's okay to type a long message. Okay, I just want you to know that. You don't have to be brief with me, okay? I love reading people's stories, and it makes me feel less alone, because, you know, I relate to a lot of my poopsies. Like, I go through a lot of the same stuff you guys go through, obviously, so it helps me to relate and connect with you more that way. And of course, the more details I know, the better I can help you, you know. So, hi Tony. Hi. I just love your channel. I watched for years and appreciate all the hard work and thoughtfulness you put into each individual video. Thank you so much, sweetie. I use your videos mostly at night to fall asleep, and I particularly enjoy whisper videos with lower background lighting. I was hoping you could discuss chat, prioritizing one's self, and the importance of finding time for ourselves. I'm a mother to 3 young kids, ages 5, 3, and 1, so finding me time can seem impossible these days. I often find myself doom scrolling Instagram, comparing myself to other moms and feeling like I'm not doing enough, although I know it's not true. It's so hard to not fall victim to everyone's highlight reels. Any insight into little daily reminders, words or affirmation, etc. would be so terrific. Keep up the great work. I look forward to watching your channel for many more years to come. Well, I certainly pray I'm around many more years to come to be able to post more videos, you know, and it's thanks to you guys again booking on my website that allows me to be around. Yeah, so thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about this. The first thing that caught my attention was the doom scrolling part. I don't know why I find that word so funny, doom scrolling, but it's true. Like, a lot of people do that because the algorithm on any app or site is formulated to meet your needs, but also not just that. It's very addicting, you know, to see results appear in front of your eyes without effort, just scrolling to match what you're expecting to see, you know. It's almost like it's perfected to the point where we are permanently addicted to our phones. And it's really scary, you know. It's really, really, really scary. But don't feel alone or left out, because pretty much everyone does it. It's you have to, as hard as it is, we have to discipline ourselves to put the phone down, you know, because we're going to realize our life went by so quickly. It's already going by so quickly that we spent a lot of time, and I learned this the hard way through eye strain. Like, I was spending way too much time on TikTok when I was on TikTok at the time, and it caused, I guess, permanent damage to my eyes. You know, I had to learn the hard way that this wasn't the way anymore, you know. I had to literally put the phone down. because it got so bad. It got to the point where I just felt strain every day. I felt dry eyes every day, you know. I had to see 4 separate doctors, eye doctors and optometrists, just to get an answer as to what was going on. And I still have to restrain myself to this day. I don't use my phone until the afternoon, you know, because of that. And then I have to discipline myself to not keep staring at the phone throughout the day, you know. It's been a challenge. It's easier for me because I was made aware, and I'm telling you this story for a reason. I'm getting to a point. I'm always getting to a point, okay? I'm not just talking about myself. But I was made aware early on that phones were a problem. I started noticing when I was still at the school bus in the 12th grade that kids were just constantly on their devices, and I was looking around, I'm like, compared to middle school versus the 12th grade, like 6th to 12th grade, going on the school bus, no one's even really talking to each other or engaging or interacting. And that was in my 12th grade. That was literally 12 years ago now, okay? 13 years ago. So, could you imagine how bad it is now, even another 12 years later, right? So I would kind of always purposefully, like, want to be in the moment and not, like, focus so much on the device, you know. And if someone talked to me, I'd put the headphones down, you know. I would just stick to my iPod. So anyway, my point is that doing that has helped me put the phone down more and not force it, not push it, you know. I even had to stop watching, like, shows for a while and movies and stuff, which I really enjoyed doing because of this problem. So, you know, this is where I have to begin. Like, it could get so bad that someone, God forbid, gets a permanent eye issue because of it, because of all that scrolling, all those hours, all that blue light damaging the retina, you know. It's not good. And, you know, I'm sure it has long-term effects. I'm not a physician, but I'm sure it has long-term effects and consequences, you know. You ever watch, like, the elderly and how good their eyes are compared to, like, I literally had to have glasses by the time I was in the 6th grade. And because I basically grew up in front of a computer, you know, it became quickly addicting to me. And that's not the only cause, but I was, you know, I really was overdoing it. I mean, there were days I had like 8 hours on the computer, literally. I actually remember one day I was without barely a break. Like, I just got up to get like a soda and go to the bathroom. That's it, pretty much. 8 hours on the computer, literally, nonstop. Yeah, talking to my friends, and like, it was literally addicting, like playing games with them. So, early on they got us, you know. I always tell people they got us good, man. They really got us good. They got us hooked to these things, and, you know, they brought so many blessings as well, you know. A lot of people made so much money on the TikTok, the YouTube. I mean, of course, you know, I would not have the life I have now if I worked, you know, a normal, regular job without a college degree. Are you kidding me? So, you know, self-employment and technology has brought so many blessings to me and other people. But it also brought a lot of things that we have to discipline ourselves. Almost like, I hate saying the word control, but we have to control our craving of that dopamine. Really what we're looking for, I've learned, is that dopamine, right? We're looking for that rush, you know? We're looking for that next fix, that next hit, right? So, these phones provide everything you're looking for. You can have access to any website, anything, right? And it's extremely addicting, right? So, we have to keep ourselves in check. So with the doom scrolling, we have to remind ourselves in that moment, stop, knock it off, right? Sometimes there's apps or settings you can put, like alarms even on your phone, like like every 20 minutes, and this is good for your eye health too, that every 20 minutes, even ophthalmologists will recommend this to you. Take a 20-second break. I say take a 5-minute break, okay? 20 seconds, too short. But they say 20 minutes, if you have no choice, you're stuck 9 to 5 on the computer, you have no choice. Fine. Every 20 minutes, set an alarm. Look 20 feet away from you at a point for 20 seconds. Okay? Because your eyes are so used to staring up close. It's not good to stare constantly up close. You know? Even reading books, right? We have to take those pauses. So that allows your eyes to stretch out, you know, and to look at a distance. Man was made to look far, to hunt, right? We're not trained to be like ooga chooga, you know, like could you imagine caveman reading a book? That's us now, today, basically. We're very little to know. I mean, and evolution takes such a long damn time. We still think reptile brain carnally. We still think caveman ooga chooga, ooga ooga, you know. We are very much like that to this day. Sexually, physically, with anger. When we get angry, we throw things, we lash out. We're very caveman-like still to this day. So think caveman, right? Think caveman brain. Would a caveman be staring at their phone now? No, they would do what's natural. Go outside, touch some grass, right? I'm just being real with y'all, right? Like, I had to keep myself in check. It was such a difficult journey. I had to accept I was addicted to my device. This stupid app was addicting. I literally had to delete it. I was growing hella following. I was going on live stream, sometimes growing 600 followers in a day, in 2 hours, literally. I was like, nope, this is not worth it anymore. I was making some coin too, but I was like, nope, I deleted the app. I haven't looked back since, because my health is way more important to me than some, you know, cash on the side or following, you know what I'm saying? So, I had to cut another website I was on too, because I felt like I was overdoing it. So, you know, to me, losing like 2 to 4% of my income was worth my health, you know what I mean? So, I was like, okay, you know, even if it was 20%, I would still do it, because it's just not worth it, you know, when you're just spending too much time. So cutting back has definitely dramatically helped me. And, you know, sometimes you have to make those sacrifices, and to get better and improve in other ways and spend more time. You know, you want to spend more time with your partner. You want to spend more time with your maybe friends, right? Or the family you've created. And in this case, if you have children, you know, you obviously want to spend more time with them. But now today's topic is prioritizing ourselves and finding time for ourselves, right? So, there was another thing I wanted to address in your message, though, that caught my eye after you said doom scrolling. Yeah, the highlight reels, aren't they so addicting? Aren't those damn highlight reels? Yeah, like, that's not, yeah, that's, you know, I've had to come to the conclusion that no matter how blessed someone's life is, how good they may seem to have it, we all deal with the same SHT at the end of the day, right? We all have to eat, go to the bathroom, shower, you know? And meanwhile, some people are starving to death, right? Like, the highlight reel is as fake as it gets, right? So, I know, sometimes the algorithm will show you things that upset you, want to make you jealous, want to make you feel like you're less than or not enough, right? I guess I can talk about that first, because you said about the comparison things. Let me tell you, comparison kills. I've always been telling people this: don't compare yourself to anybody but your past self, child, okay? Because they don't know what you went through. You don't know what that successful person had to sacrifice and go through to get there to begin with. So until you're ready to do what they had to do to get there, don't even feel sorry for yourself or be jealous of that person, okay? Because it's not the highlight reel you're looking at, you know? They had to put in the hours like you did too, all right? So yeah, thankfully you might not feel like you're not enough, but some of you, like Kara, might feel like you're not doing enough, okay? That's all part of the same it's not enough. It's never enough, right? And what helped me to overcome that recently, one, reading a book on it, but two, is really understanding that I am my own unique individual person. No one will ever do the same things I do, say the same things I do every single day until I die, right? I am my own unique encoded identity from these 8.2 billion people on Earth, okay? So that made me already feel like whatever the hell I'm doing now, even if I feel I'm not doing enough, or if I feel like, I could be doing better in some ways, or blah, 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 blah. Again, the reptile monkey brain never shuts up, right? It's all your thoughts. Your thoughts are not of your own sometimes, okay? Whatever it may be, I am my own person. I am one little thing in this whole universe that no one else can emulate, replicate. Even if there was another you in the universe, it's still an alternate you. It's still a complete opposite of you, right? It's still another version of you. It's never you, right? No one's ever going to be exactly you. So whatever you are doing, it is enough, because no one's doing what you're doing, right? Just the fact that you have 3 kids, for example, is more than enough. You do know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's like too many kids. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that that's more than what most people can do, at least in the United States. I know other countries, they be popping 5, 10 babies. That's another story, right? But I will say that also with your children, right? For example, if you have kids or pets or whatever, there's no pet or child exactly like yours. So you are enough as you are. God created you as you are, right? Just, I like to think about it this way, and this removes all jealousy from anyone's mind. There are 8 billion people. Like, think about it. We're all doing something different. We're all doing something else, but we're all the same. We're all in here, in this together, in this rock, right? Like, it doesn't matter if someone is doing way better, having 10 kids, 10 cars, 10 houses. Look, we all go 6 feet under or turn into ash. Can you bring it with you? No, you're just a soul having a human experience. So at the end of the day, enjoy this playground, make it the best you got, right? Make it the most fulfilling you can. And I always tell people your version of success is different from someone else's highlight reel, someone else's version of success, right? Nowadays, as soon as I'm noticing that I'm getting a little bit like, resentment looking at someone's page, or I feel like, this is trying to trigger an emotion, because that's stupid. AI algorithm purposely does that to get on your nerves. It really does. It tries to feed off of you, to read your emotions, so it can learn. It's very manipulative and tricky. But once we detect that darkness, put the phone down, turn it off, switch the app right away. Just once it's triggering that negative emotion, put a post-it note, slap a post-it note on your phone, 20 minutes, break, that's it, okay, set a timer. You gotta do it, What has helped me is, I read it for every day. I read a chapter a day of like self-help learning books, whatever. But I also, in the last few years, started to feel like that wasn't enough, and I read extra. At the end of the day, if I have some free time, I just bought this, turn on a book light. This is very helpful for eye strain too. And you can adjust the setting too. I went on a BAM shopping spree, okay? I may show in another video, but this was actually my partner's book, but I recently got him the 3rd book. This is the pop-up edition of the Harry Potter series, so I'm reading that now. The first book to remind me of childhood and to tap into my goal lately through the rest of the year is to tap in more into my inner child, so I can help open my heart more and have more fun and joy in my life, because I feel like that's always been lacking in my life, is more fun and excitement, because my life feels very like mundane sometimes, so I feel like I just need to add more to it, So this definitely is helping already. 3 chapters, 4 chapters in, and it's very fun to me. It's very enjoyable to read. that's what I was telling you about BAM. Like, I actually literally spent like almost $200 buying the whole series of Unfortunate Events, all 13 books, because in the divorce with my father and mother, I lost like half my stuff. So I'm trying to like buy it all back with time, books included. So it's like, that made me very happy to just buy that and eventually reread it again, because that was my favorite series growing up, like in the 4th grade. I loved it. Like, yeah. So I can't wait to dive into that once I'm done with the Harry Potter series. But yeah, you have to do that instead of picking up a phone. Pick up a book. Same principle applies. 20 minutes, 20 seconds, or just like, every 20 minutes. I honestly say 5-minute break. Get up, do something in the kitchen, make a cup of tea, whatever. Go outside. If you have to sit there for an hour straight, especially with your job, 1 hour equals a 20-minute break. So if you can't do the 20 minutes, do 1 hour, 20-minute break. 20 minutes, 5-minute break. Got it? Okay. Alright, so that will help you stop being so hooked, but also every time you're picking up that phone, okay, let's say you take that 5 or 20-minute break, you want to resort back to the phone typically because you're bored. Life's boring, right? Sometimes. Or you just need an escape from life, kids, anyone, right? You just want that me time. We gotta maybe stretch it, maybe do an hour break, right? Like push yourself day by day by day to slowly put the phone down more, okay? And you constantly have to remind yourself, because it's so easy to slip up. It's so easy to fall back into that old pattern. Go scrub your feet in the bathtub, right? Like, do self-care. Go take a hot bath in the bathtub, right? Go for a long shower. That's all self-love. Do like a body scrub or something. Go do your makeup and take some photos or something. Okay, maybe not that, because that's gonna get you back on the phone. You might have to be extreme and drastic. You might have to actually buy an old flip phone and put the old phone down, I know it's hard, especially if you're like me, you have your own business you're running and you gotta use the phone for business, you know what I'm saying? But there's a way. There's a way. There's a method to the madness. You gotta just trial and error, figure out what works best for you. I personally say, and what helped me recover was set up my backyard, make it all nice and beautiful, and make it an area where you can just sit out there and enjoy. Okay, if the weather's too cold, get a poncho or a blanket. If it's too hot, get an iced tea. There's no excuse, okay? So yeah, maybe you need a vacation or time away. Promise yourself on vacation you're gonna put that phone down, okay? Alright, but prioritizing yourself and finding time for you, okay? Guilt-free. You gotta put the guilt aside. You gotta say, this is for me, I'm doing this for me, because if I don't recharge my batteries, I won't be able to provide for my family, alright? So you have to do this, and you have to be strong, especially as a mother or a father, if you are out there, any of you. I'm not, but maybe hoping to be someday. And you have to put your oxygen mask before you help your children, right? So they rely on you, but you can't always be even addicted to helping or codependent, right? If you are, any of you, you can't always want to be managing things, be a momager, right? Or helicopter mom, if any of you are out there. Like, you gotta let go of that control aspect, right? You gotta focus on you sometimes. You gotta let the kids be. Trust me. Did you forget already how you were as a kid or a teenager? You don't want the parent constantly around you. Alright, you need some space too. Alright, I remember that first feeling of needing some space when I was like 7 or 8. Like, you need some space too, okay? The kids, the mom, both need some space, okay? So, give them that space, okay? They don't always need to be monitored, alright? If you're that worried, baby-proof the house and then let it go. Let them be, let them have fun to play, We used to be, I know nowadays it's frowned upon, but 20 years ago, we'd roam outside, we'd be gone all day, literally. Our parents wouldn't even know where the heck we are until we get back home at night, literally. So, that's the level of care for you sometimes. And all the parents were like that back then, you know. Even without phones, like really, you know, it was safe back then. It's crazy that, like, it doesn't seem like that's okay nowadays. I don't know. I guess the phones made us more in fear because we see all the bad things that could unfold, and that has brought us so much fear, you know. This is why we're always indoors and always on our phones. We're so in fear, you know. You have to think about that. Like, collectively, there's a collective fear, especially ever since 2020. That's constantly what I see is like fear propaganda, as I call it. Because like 2020 has all of a sudden been so marketable to certain people that just love harvesting from people, you know, and have a love of money, you know, like greed, to the point of greed, you know. It's okay to love money, but it's like, if it's the point where you're like earning it just by promoting fear, you really have to rethink what you're doing. You know, I'm not saying anyone specific, I'm just saying, like, this is what I've been seeing since 2020. That's been like, oh, then this is gonna happen, then this bad thing's gonna happen, and then next year this is bad thing. What bad thing has happened since 2020? I'll wait. Yes, a lot maybe, but in little increments. But it's like, it's always like, oh, this next big thing, it's always gonna be like this thing, and when and where, right? So it's constantly, it's draining people because it's constantly feeding off their energy when they promote that kind of things, and yet they forget to show, you know, the good things that humanity has been accomplishing and doing as a result since then. So I think that's why doom scrolling is so addicting, because we're addicted to that 2020 hit. We almost, it's like, honestly, no one is, I think everyone's too afraid to admit this. I think we low-key all want another lockdown at this point. We low-key are waiting for that next hit so we can be back home, back on our phones, addicted to more bad news. I'm sorry, I just had to say it. Low-key, all of us are waiting for that next hit. I'm just saying. They got us good, man. They got us good. You gotta think deep, like third eye. You know what I'm saying? Some of you may not get it, but it's okay. But I can only say so much on here. But you are enough. Just remember, you are enough, okay? Without any of those things. Alright? And yes, some of those things may feed parts of our dark selves. And you may want to feel like you nurture it. Fine, do what you feel is best. But I'm saying what's best for you is to not allow that to harvest your energy, to feed into that energy, okay? Because you're going to feel fatigued, you're going to feel drained, you're just going to know, like, you ever check in with yourself, how do you feel after doom scrolling for 30 minutes? You feel like crap, you know, you don't feel good. How do you feel 30 minutes outside? You come back inside, you're like, oh, this feels so good. I don't even want to be inside right now. I want to go back outside, you know? So whatever recharges you, whatever replenishes your energy, that's what you should feed into more, right? I think they call it in Judaism like the yeshahara, right? The one that you feed, that, like, the demon you feed within you, and then versus the angel you feed. Like, you want to feed the good qualities in you. You don't want to feed, like, just the bad qualities, you know? And that will help you kind of elevate you and raise your vibration. I'm actually not going to talk too much about that because I'm about to do that in another custom booking soon. Maybe tomorrow, but yeah, so maybe you wanted some affirmations, words of encouragement. I said encouragement, y'all. Oh my gosh. Look, I just love to keep it real with you. You got this, okay? No matter what you're doing, you got this. You made it this far. You popped out 3 babies. You got this, okay? You can do anything. Even if you popped out 1 child, right? You got this, okay? You can do so much. I know you can. And I know you can do so much more. And we just constantly have to, you know, push yourself forward. I know that it's hard nowadays with, you know, so many people seeing the inflation happening, seeing that houses prices not coming down, it just feels like the never-ending tale, right? Like it's harder and harder for people out there. And for some people it just seems like, oh my God, everything's going so great, but is it, like, you really have to ask yourself, maybe next time you see a highlight reel that kind of, gets on your nerve, try DMing the person. Why don't you show something more that is relatable, or something that we're all going through right now, Or why don't you maybe share your struggles so we can kind of relate, So you'd be surprised to find that some of them are depressed, like I used to message ASM artists that, like, you would think, oh my God, their life is in such order. They're getting hundreds and thousands and millions of subscribers, and they're telling me about their problems. I was like, oh damn, I have it so good, and that's not to compare, because again, comparison kills. But it's like, oh snap, that helps you snap out of that mindset. Like, they have it all good. They really don't. Trust me. So yeah, so you gotta just stop comparing to what they're posting, because what they're posting online is just a little mere second of their life compared to what they're not showing you behind the camera, and it's usually very, very sad. So yeah, and I don't pray or wish that upon them, but from what I've seen, it's not good. But anyways, yeah, so, and I've had that moment in my life where I felt like, oh my God, I was getting so much attention and, media attention. It was just getting too much, and I felt so, like, alone, and I felt anxious, I didn't know who the next person would recognize me from videos. I was constantly in a high anxiety mode, and it was just too much for me. I literally, so, like, I mentally tapped out. So, yeah, so you don't know anybody's story. That's why you should read into it, right? Harry Potter had to go through hell before he became one of the best wizards out there, and he defeated the biggest enemy, Voldemort. But that was him. Voldemort was him. Harry was Voldemort. So that was an artistic portrayal of battling his demons. You can too, okay? So, you can do anything. I believe in you, Harry Potter didn't even necessarily believe in himself at one point or another. He lived under a cupboard, right? And a cupboard under the stairs. So, you can go from nothing to everything in life. And sometimes just like that, you can win the lottery and it just all of a sudden half your problems disappear, but then you get other problems, right? That's life. You gotta constantly challenge yourself to be better than who you were yesterday. So again, don't compare to someone else. You're not in their shoes, period. Stop it. Knock it off. Put yourself in your past shoes. See yourself, who you used to be before you had the partner, the kids, the house, whatever, the job, the money, the experience, We have to stop comparing even to all the things and the physical assets, We have to compare to emotionally. How do we feel, right? Who were we before? Did we feel better before than we do now? That's a problem you need to work on then, okay? It's not about what you have. That doesn't mean shit. It doesn't show up in your life any differently. If you are a bad person or if you're a good person, if you think negatively or think positively, either person can have millions of dollars. I've seen it. It's about what you are, who you are inside, how you can change, how you can be a better version of yourself. And that's how you show up better in the world. That's how you build, better connections. And it goes even beyond that. It's just about you, right? It's not about building. It's not about building, okay? Let's stop that mindset. It's about how have you changed within. Do you feel more peace and happiness in your heart, right? That's the true wealth. That's the true highlight reel, okay? So, yeah, Instagram, all that's all fake. I don't even, it makes me sick. It's so fake. It's so fraudulent, literally. It's all just one big scam nowadays. Just look within, okay? That's your way you're going to find the most peace and answers. So, thank you so much for watching and listening. I hope this covered everything that you were looking for today. Best wishes in your journey. I love you guys so much, and I will see you all very soon. Bye, guys.